Let me start by saying that there are plenty of other people here that are way better at this than I am. I'm just the entertainment portion. Like, that's what I'm here to do. So there are much smarter people on. I was just one of the ones that gathered up information and said, okay, here's like a compiled list. And then all of a sudden I was deemed the Fenton fake expert. And I was like, no. Please don't do that to me. But, so these are just a bunch that I have bought along the way, because when they asked me the first year, I had some of this stuff, and then a lot of people helped me and brought a lot of stuff. And then they asked me again this year, and I was like, I better find some stuff. And so this is what I've came up with, and I have had so many people help me, and I want to be sure to thank them all. April Rhodes, Millie Cody, Matthew Light, Eddie Gray, Sarah Smith, Sarah McDaniel, Barb Garrison, Miss Audrey, Miss Ellen, Max and Deanna Anderson, Charles Anderson, and Tim Barham have all helped contribute to this pile of glass. Plus, some people have left me some things here. Who was that?
That's
Lori Ann brought it? Okay, cool.
Well, that's the stuff
That you're going to talk about at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of odd.
All right, so she's going to help me talk about that because I was thoroughly confused. And the gentleman brought this. Yes, they helped me bring this, and we're going to play whodunit together on that one. All right, I like to start with the first. This is Public Enemy number 1. This is just a Teleflora vase. Miss Laura reminds me of that today. And it is just Teleflora. Fenton had nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Except somebody, it just looks like Aquacrest.
It just looks like Aquacrest, and they put a nice swirl on it. And okay, I need to back up just a little bit. Couple things. One, just because it's a Fenton lookalike does not stop it from being pretty. If you like it, buy it. It's what makes you happy. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is a Fenton lookalike. They have 4,370,000 different colors, and I thought, if I've got to buy it, I want to live with it. My wife loves this teal color, so we bought the teal. And it looks pretty. It's just not Fenton. So then my other 3 things that I always try to remember to tell people when it comes to looking at glass, trying to determine if it's Fenton. This is my set of rules. There's other people that have other sets of rules. That's fine. My set of rules is it needs to check 3 boxes. Is it a Fenton mold? The one that we differ on is it a Fenton color? And then is it Fenton quality? So it's got to check all 3 of those boxes for it to be Fenton in my professionally uneducated opinion. So we've already covered Public Enemy number 1. Jump. This is Public Enemy number 2. This one gets accused of being Fenton more times than I can count. And it doesn't help that I actually have the one that's got the sticker on the bottom. And the sticker says, Teleflora gift designed by Fenton, made in China. So that is their portion of the exam. Fenton did design this little flower for them. The glass is made in China. It's painted in China. The only thing Fenton did was say, yeah, here's what the flowers we recommend. Sure, why not?
It's a self-inflicted wound.
Yes, self-inflicted wound, Lorianne says. This is just import, but this one gets accused of Fenton a lot. Now Fenton made a really close shape, and it's right down here. I didn't put this one together with those, but they made a really close shape. But I might as well go ahead and get down here to it. As you can see, the Fenton one is a lot shorter. Different colors. The flowers are the same, but different colors. The bottom of the piece has got a real heavy crystal foot. Well, it's not really crystal, it's just got a really heavy foot. That's something you'll want to look at for Fenton as well, because a lot of the Fenton will not have a crystal foot. I have seen one as of even yesterday. It was cranberry that had, you could see the crystal down at the bottom. It was just, it just happened sometimes. So, these are the Czechoslovakian vase, wheat vase. This was the original, to my understanding. This is what Fenton copied. This is Fenton's version. So you see, they changed the crimp. That's pretty much all they did, was change the crimp. 3 bands, yep. This is what I bought off of Amazon. Now, I want y'all all to come up after this and look at all this glass really close, up close. The easiest way to tell that this one is not Fenton is it's got a palm mark. There are very, very few pieces of Fenton with a palm mark. So that will always be your first indicator as to whether or not it's Fenton.
What does that mark mean?
A panel mark.
What is that?
So a panel mark is where the glass blower is taking the rod, taking the piece off the rod, right? Okay, and so when they do that, it leaves this indention in the bottom. Well, Fenton always fire polished, I think that's the right term. People that are smarter than me need to help. Fire polish their bottoms so that they're nice and smooth like this. No, so that's part of the Fenton quality I'm talking about. Because let's be real, all right, so we checked one box. Does this kind of resemble Fenton sky blue color? I mean, with the exception of this being, it looks like a frit was used. It looks kind of like Fenton sky blue color. It's clearly close to Fenton's shape. It's almost got the same crimp. You can kind of see it's almost got the same crimp, but it's not the Fenton quality in that they didn't take the time to finish the job and fire polish it. Otherwise, the only other difference is this one weighs more. A lot of the Fenton lookalikes will weigh a lot more. And honestly, this Czech vase is lighter than the Fenton vase, and this one's the heaviest. So you have to pay attention to making sure you're checking all 3 of your boxes. This piece I picked up not all that long ago. I'm pretty sure this is Kanawha.
Well, I'm not sure of the color.
See,
Yeah, that's.
we're checking the boxes. I'm pretty sure it's Kanawha
It is.
because I've seen the bowls and stuff.
Got a nice piece of ash in there.
Yeah.
Kind of proof it's older glass, which is a good thing.
Right. So the reason I picked this piece up is because Fenton made a hot mail basket, didn't they? I was about to say, did y'all all have 20 at your house like the rest of us? I'm sure you do. The biggest thing that I tell new collectors about hobnail baskets is feeling the hobnails, because Fentons are pointy and everybody else's are nice and round for the most part. I haven't met a piece of hobnail that is
That's not a good indicator.
No, it's not.
not every time.
No, no,
The points of the hobnail, no, not really.
no.
Okay.
That's like a big misconception that I see all the time.
Okay.
Kevin, it's just, like if the mold gets worn or whatever, I mean, it's just not a good indicator.
Okay, very good. See, we're all learning. I told y'all I ain't good at this. I'm just here for the entertainment value. So, this is not a Fenton color, and it's not got a Fenton handler's mark. That mark's not in the book anywhere. So, that one's that piece. Okay. This is probably one of my favorites. This I bought off of Amazon. Y'all, if you go to Amazon, Temu, Shein, any of those websites, you put in Fenton style vase, that's what they're using. You will find all kinds of the vases. they like the beaded melon vase, and they like this one right here, and it's not exactly this style. I didn't have time to order one of those before I realized I didn't have one. But I was shocked to see this one because it's not the most popular Fenton vase, and so I was really shocked that this one, I saw this. Is it a Fenton color? No, but what is it pretty close to in a Fenton color? It's from the 70s. I don't know the color name. Is it a colonial color? It's kind of smoky blue?
Federal
The
blue.
federal
on the
blue.
edges.
Federal blue?
Federal.
But it's not Fenton quality. It doesn't have the Fenton crimp. But they did fire, well, no, it's got a panel, but you got a feel for it. Otherwise, it looks like it's pretty good. Yes, ma'am.
The reason Fenton didn't punny up to the majority of their blown pieces, they didn't use a punny at all. They
Okay.
never had to attach a punny. They used a snap.
Ann said they used a snap and they didn't use a Marie at all.
Marie piece, any piece with a Marie.
Yeah, with a Marie, so that's the foot.
So Fenton
Right
would never have
here, so they can grab onto it. This is the one, I think it was done for QVC or somebody. It's absolutely gorgeous. I haven't had time, well, that's pretty obvious. If you get up here and look at them and compare them, the detail is just not there. I mean, it's absolutely, it was a worn out mold because you can see the eyes and the details on the leaves and everything on the Fenton one, not even close. Not only that, this is what I proudly called last year an intruder vase. If you pick this up and throw it at somebody, they're going down. It's very heavy, very heavy. So this is the last piece that I bought off Amazon. I was blown, like I said, I was blown away. Temu has a lot more of these, and they've got them in crests, they've got them in different colors. I didn't really see any that were blatantly trying to be Fenton colors because they're having to use fret in almost everything that they're doing. And Fenton, correct me if I'm wrong, very rarely used fret as their base of operations. You know, then it was like, did they use fret for Peloton? When they rolled it?
Boston Marine.
And Boston Marina. So that would be the two instances where that, and this is just not those colors. This is their favorite size. I noticed that most of their sizes were the 8-inch. They may have copied the 6-inch as well, but I really don't think so. They really like the 8-inch. They did do it as a jack in the pulpit. They did it as just a plain vase with a normal crimp. But again, it's got a back, I mean, they didn't even try. You can see that panel mark from a mile away, and it's really rough. And there's some other glass defects in it as well. This one I was proud that I found an extra one because this one gets a lot of people as well. So I have the Fenton Ruby Snow Crest. As you can see, this is a reverse swirl optic. All right, this is the one that I see the most get accused of being Fenton. And it's a dot optic. Fenton did not do dot optic. So, the biggest thing about this that you can tell is it's heavy. Again, weight is a lot. It's heavy, but the worst thing they did, if you come up and look on the front side, you can see the milk glass running down the back side. Their crest is absolutely nowhere close to even. And you can really tell it on this piece. And this has no texture at all. But you can see it barely did. It's just wonky 6 ways to Sunday. It just didn't even get up to the edge all the way around. It's only on the outside. They didn't get any hardly on the inside, but in one little piece. So that's probably, if there was gonna be a fourth culprit, I would say that this is it. This little basket, I have no idea who made it, but but I thought it was a little hobnail basket, and let's just, Fenton made a blue, this color. What color is that closest to? Not really, it's close to colonial blue, but not really. And to y'all's point, the hobs are sharper on this piece, but is that a Fenton quality handle? Nowhere close. That's like, and the crimp isn't right either. So it's just a lot about quality. I have a lot of people, I brought this from my shop. A lot of people ask me and say, oh, is that Fenton? I've never seen that one. This is Hobbs Dewdrop. You can tell the difference between it and Fenton, and the Hobbs are huge. I mean, they're huge. And the Hobbs go all the way underneath. I can't think of a single piece of Fenton's hobnail where the Hobbs go underneath. And I didn't get a piece of Fire King Moonstone, unfortunately, or I would show you that when you find French opalescent in pieces and you think they may be Fenton, Moonstones by Fire King will have a pattern on the bottom, or their Hobbs will go all the way to the bottom. And that'll be the way you tell those differences. This little old piece, I'm not sure, no, I didn't identify it. It's a dot optic. It's a pretty nice looking Kramer. I mean, can we say that's a pretty nice looking Kramer? It's got the dot optic, but now that I'm looking at it, even the dot optic is like, woo, like it don't come all the way down, which is odd because it dips down way down in the front down here. Is that a Fenton crimp though? No, and it's got that same funnel that we keep talking about. I'm not really sure who did that one. I'm scared to say because I don't know. This is a piece of Victorian glass. I was telling somebody that I was doing, that I went and bought a collection of Fenton. They're like, oh, that's not Fenton, let me get that out of there. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I need that, I'm doing something. So, a lot of Fenton's molds were either made by them, purchased by them, or like the Czechoslovakian, they copied it as close as they could without getting sued. And so a lot of these molds you'll see, I mean, that's a nice rose bowl. Fenton did a lot of rose bowls that look similar to this, but this is just not a Fenton color, and it's got the, what's the silver stuff called, John? Mica. Mica is the tables, right? Yes, okay. It's got a nice, it's cased, so it's a good piece of glass. It's just Victorian. Now this one got me last year. I brought this one to Glass ID, and it was, I didn't think it was Fenton, but I bought it with a collection of Royal Hobnail, and it was in there, and I thought, well, maybe I've just never seen this particular mold. And I brought it to Glass ID, and they confirmed that it is not Fenton because it is not a Fenton mold, but it looks good with the rest of my Royal Hobnail. I brought the Fenton version with me, so this is the standard Fenton stem, and then that's not a Fenton crimp. Now that I look at it, that's a really, I mean, that's a star crimp. I mean, Fenton did a star crimp, but it didn't look like that. And the foot down here is what's odd. And again, the hobs aren't as sharp. So that one stumped me last year. Fenton had thumbprint for a long time. Fenton did a lot of things in thumbprint, but I don't know who made this basket, but I bought it because I like the color. That is a beautiful teal color. Like I'm a sucker for blue anything. It has no handler's mark. It's just like put on there. It has a raid bottom. That's what I'm gonna call that pattern. It's raid. And then that Fenton, it's not a Fenton crimp. Does anybody know who made this? Is it? I always just instantly wonder if things are Kanawha, just because they had a lot of the similar styles as Fenton, but I don't know. Maybe I'll bring that to class. I do. Maybe somebody can tell me. Okay. This stumped somebody on Facebook, and they sold it to me. They were like, "Oh, I can't believe I bought a fake piece of Fenton. I bought it for Fenton." I said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 please. I'll take it." This is, like I was telling you, that it's a very similar shape that they really are liking, like on Temu, Amazon, those kind of places. But let me tell you, so it's a nice finished bottom. A nice finished bottom. What I like the best about this piece is I want y'all to come up here and feel the satin finish on this vase. I brought this Tiffin vase for you to feel, to compare it to. It is smooth as butter. I mean, whoever satinized this vase, it's a really nice satin finish. The painting on it, meh, take it or leave it. Probably sandblasted off would make me happier. But they didn't even like it enough to sign it and say, "Hey, yeah, I did that." So that's why I believe it's China. But then on the other half of me, I'm like, this satin finish, y'all. I'm telling you, I know I'm going to go on and on about satin finish, but that's
Satin inside too,
it is.
so it's acid dip.
Yes. Yes, it's all the way in too, because it's not just on the ruffle. Yeah, I don't have a clue who did that, but it's a really nice piece of glass. It's a really nice piece. This, I just thought it was a Jack of the Pulpit and it's cranberry. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily gonna fool anybody, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody go "Nyeh" with a pair of scissors at Fenton. But there is a lot of things like this that are cranberry and have the white just strung through it. I've seen baskets, I've seen vases, I've seen these little Jack in the Pulps, but again, it's got that panel mark, and I just got that one because there's a ton of those out there. All right, so this one got me. I thought, oh, I'm bringing this to the Fenton lookalikes. Man, they did a good job on this Fenton lookalike, and then I looked in John Walk's Rarities book. And I was like, yeehaw, even better, it's real. But I wanted to show it to you because it resembled these fakes in as much as that it had a fat foot and a ring right here, and I thought, that just, and the crimp, okay, so the crimp got me. That's what I was really looking at. And also, something I want all you Fenton experts to get up here and look at, help me determine how they did this handle, because it's not just nicked. I need you to get up here and really look at it, because it looks like they grabbed it and twisted as they went. And it may be an optical illusion, but I want you guys that know more about it than me to come up here and look. But, you know, as I was talking about, the weird thing about this piece, and part of why it really confused me, is because it's got a little divot. It's not that it's a panel mark or anything, it's just got a divot there, but it's a nice fire finished, but the crimp threw me, and the handle, how they did the handle threw me, and it's really light. So that one stumped me. I was hoping it was a fake, but it's not, and that's even more better. This is also not a fake. This one's Fenton. But as I was telling y'all, it does have a palm mark, but it's finished though. It's not rough like the others. So this is where know your shapes, know your color comes in, because you don't want to pass this one up. I'm borrowing this one from Barb Garrison. She's got 85 bucks on it. You don't want to miss that one at a yard sale for 10 cents. All right, these two are lookalikes, and this is a good looking piece of glass. Like, for all intents and purposes. It doesn't have a panel mark. They took the time to finish it. The crest is nice and even, and the color's pretty. I just have no idea what it is. I don't know if this is one that Fenton may have copied. I don't know if this is one that copied Fenton. But it's a really nice looking base, and the color's nice too. This one, on the other hand, is light as a feather. I mean, I about chunked it the first time I picked it up over my shoulder. The crimp's not right at all. But it's pretty close to the pastel blue, sky blue. No, come on, use your brain. Yeah, pastel blue. Powder blue overlay. Is that kind of that color blue? It's just very, very light, and it's got that little divot just like this one. So it may be that it needs to come with me to ID too, just so I'll know where it came from. But again, the weight. All right, these I've already talked about a little bit, but this is the Fenton original. And you can see how much taller it is. And the color's different, and they were smart enough to say, okay, let's paint blue flowers on it instead of purple so they can't come after us. The foot is really thick, like I said before, and it's kind of finished, but not really. And again, a pretty piece of glass. Just don't pay $50 for it or more. 20, 25, and you love it, buy it. Absolutely. Okay, here's some of my favorites. I'm a critter collector. My table's over there with the squirrels. This is what I call the fat face bear. If you look at his little face, he's just got a little fat face, bless his heart, he can't help it. I bought this in a Fenton bear collection, and I was going through them, and I was like, he kind of looks a little different, and I got to looking at him, and his eyes are set further apart than what Fenton's are. I've got a Fenton bear here. I didn't manage to get a Fenton cat, but this is what I call a fat face kitty, because he too has got, his eyes are further apart, and he's got a ton of wrinkles, bless his heart. He's been well fed. We ought to call him Garfield. This is what shocked me. I found one with a sticker. It says Dollar Tree distribution made in China. Came from Dollar Tree. I don't know what time frame, but it was for case collections. But I mean, it looks really close to Fenton's cat, except Fenton's has not got all the wrinkles, for sure, and his eyes are not as wide set. But I mean, that is very blatantly a Fenton copy. And this one, maybe you just can't see the wrinkles as bad. I was about to say, his face even looks a little worse than the other ones. But look at those, because, I mean, if you're not looking at them in a lineup, you'll buzz right over them and say, yeah, they're Fenton. I mean, I did, because I think I bought one of each. I bought one, they both came in a bunch of critters that I bought. This one, Fenton has a sitting cat that sits like this, but this one's got a big booty, and Fenton's is not quite that heavy in the back. And its little face is totally different and everything like that. And I think Fenton's is a little shorter even. It has no details on the eyes. So that would be the quality portion of the exam that this one fails. It's just not got the Fenton quality. Messed up, I should have brought a ruby. I mean, this looks like cranberry. This is an import, and this is an intruder base too. You come pick this one up and come pick Fenton's up. Yeah, Fenton's is heavy. This one's heavier. This one, as you can see, it's actually about the same size. It does have the pommel mark, so they didn't use a snap when they clearly had a foot that they could have. Is the color off to you? This reminds me more of Pilgrim's cranberry. It's kind of more purple. And the other thing is, I know we've already debunked the Hobbs thing, but these are really, really round. And they get really, really weak up here on the neck. Like really weak. Just borderline goes into the glass completely. Otherwise, that's a pretty good copy all all in all, because the crimp, they got the crimp right pretty close. This one's a little tighter. I think they just may have copied a worn out mold or found a worn out mold. I really don't know. But this one's been around a while, hasn't it? That I can remember. I've seen them for at least 10 years, something like that, at least. But you remember that crystal foot I was telling you about? Boy, this one's got a heavy one. If you hold it up, that's all you see. Fenton very rarely had, well, as I say that, and there's one on this one. But it does happen. It does happen. But you gotta know, you know, most of all these are gonna be marked Fenton. This is another one that I found that has got a huge heavy, I mean, you can see the crystal foot on that one. I mean, but this is, again, when I told Caden I was doing this, I said, I'm buying colors that I like. That's a beautiful color. It's not a Fenton color, but that is a beautiful color. You can see it's a little bit shorter than Fenton's. Other than that, it's pretty well, it'll pass as Fenton, except, whoa, there's that funnel mark again. That's what it's gonna boil down to, is when you're out in the wild, you've got to know your colors, your shapes, and your quality. Because if you come up here, I want y'all to come pick these up, because, I mean, this one's considerably heavier. All right. This one I had last year, but I don't think I had I think I had a real one, and I'm faithful to show. This is the Holly and Stag and Holly bowl. So this is an old carnival glass pattern. And this is the real one, and it is gorgeous. And I looked it up last year, and I can't remember all the details, but the biggest one was you have to look at the deer, and if this is so funny to me, if his tongue sticks out further than his mouth, it's a good one.
Remember that.
This one, the fake, his tongue just reaches the end of his mouth, so it's like all one spot. Now you got to look pretty good, because his tongue does not stick out much further than the end of his mouth, but it's the bottom lip. I would like somebody else that knows, has anybody ever seen this rose pattern before? It's really pretty. You want to tell me a little bit about where you got it and all that stuff?
I went into an antique mall and it was marked Fenton, and I could tell from a distance that it was not Fenton. I was like, well, I'll just bring that one in, because
Right.
there's just like the handle's too thick and
Yeah, look how it's attached.
Yeah, it's attached side goggling. I mean, they ain't straight on with it. The satin finish is nice, so it's a good company. It's just not Fenton, but I mean, I've never seen.
A lousy color.
Is it?
Tiffin, that's where Fenton got the mold.
Is that what this one is?
I don't know, honey, I can't see that.
Well, by all means, let me come help. It's not a Fenton mold that I've ever seen them use. Now, they may have used it, but it's a really pretty pattern. It's just a shame they did it. It's a shame they did it in that color. Yeah. You ever seen it before? Let's poll the audience. You ever seen that pattern before? That's a smoke, it's smoke color is what Mosser calls it.
That's not Tiffin.
No, but it's a pretty nice satin finish.
Feels like.
It does. It does feel good, I'm telling
I
you.
could tell whenever we went into the antique shop that they marked it Fenton. I'm like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's nothing like I had ever seen.
No, it's not. I didn't think it was Tiffin, but I don't know whose it is, but it's a pretty pattern on the bottom. It's roses and going up a trellis.
Could be a sample, maybe from
Miss Carolyn's asking if it's a sample from Mosser.
It would not have that, because that's been dipped in acid.
Yeah, this has been dipped.
And that's how.
Feel it. Oh, yeah, that's smooth as a baby's butt, yeah. I just don't know the pattern. It looks like a rose going up a trellis, but yeah, this is a really nice piece of glass. Again, just because it's not Fenton doesn't make it cool. And if they'd have done that in any other color, they could have probably sold the hound out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, ew. Sorry, not my favorite. Sorry if it's yours. All right, this is, I'm pretty sure it's Imperial, right? I've seen it in like topaz and such. It's the rose bowl on the stand and it's all hobnail. I'm pretty sure I've seen it as an Imperial mold. I might be wrong on
It
that
is.
one. It is Imperial? Okay. All right, it is super sharp on the hobs. Fenton didn't do a rose bowl on a stand. So, and let me tell you, there's a lot of Imperial topaz going around right now that's probably being sold as Fenton. That's one of those you're gonna have to know your shapes. Because, I saw what I was really, really hoping was a topaz butter dish that was hobnail, and it was not. It was Imperial. But, this is, it's just, it is a good piece of glass. It's just not Fenton. It's, like we said, it's Imperial. What color is this that's close to Fenton? It's not Dusty Rose.
Country peach.
Country Peach,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like a 90s color. Looks real good though. All right, now I come to the portion of my exam where I get to get a little help. Miss Ellen, will you please tell me about what you sent me today?
Okay, do you want me to come up?
Sure, please.
So we can see you.
Yes. We want to see you and know you.
I'm short, I can say that.
Here you go.
Okay. First of all, I brought in a pair of shiny candlesticks. Beautiful, beautiful Burmese. How many think that this is Fenton? Nobody's raising their hand. I know what it is. Does anyone want to take a guess what it is? It's Mount Washington glass. Mount Washington glass was made between 1875 into the early 1900s. A formula was lost, then about 1955, Pierpoint attempted to make Burmese. Unfortunately, the Burmese was too heavy and it did not sell well. It wasn't until the 1960s that Fenton began experimenting with the formula. And by the time 1969 came along, Richard Goh had developed the formula. But I think this is an absolutely beautiful piece of Burmese.
Absolutely.
Now, well, let me do this one.
There's a question.
Yeah.
If his name was not Richard Goh, it was Charlie.
Charlie, I meant to say Charlie Goh, thanks.
I just didn't want the misinformation.
No, thank you. All right, this is another piece of Mount Washington glass. And what's interesting about this is if you feel it, it is so smooth. And you notice the decoration around this area right here, that's called riggery. Riggery was usually done on European glass, but this was done on this particular piece of glass. And then the last piece is the creamer, or you could call it a pitcher. And it's kind of interesting, I think the feet on this, these are called wishbone feet. And believe it or not, Fenton did do a basket with smaller wishbone feet. I wish I had a picture of it. Again, beautifully smooth. So that's what I can tell you about this.
Awesome. And this one was which one? This was Webb?
No, this
This
is
is
also
Mount-
Mount Washington.
Mount Washington?
All Mount Washington.
Okay.
Right. And it's ID as Mount Washington.
Okay, and I did is Mount Washington,
Yeah.
okay. Did Webb make any Burmese?
I think Webb did make some Burmese, and eventually the English liked the Burmese so much that they were able to make some kind of a deal with the gentleman, I just can't remember the name of the
That's okay.
American who developed the
Yeah.
formula. So it was done in England also.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing these and showing. I mean, if you didn't know that this wasn't a Fenton shape though, that's really pretty Burmese. Like, Fenton didn't do a lot of glossy Burmese because they wanted to paint on it. But let me tell you, y'all, that's gorgeous. These are just obviously not Fenton shapes. But let me tell you, in this particular instance, if you're like, I wonder if it's Fenton, hope it isn't, because it'll be worth a lot more. Because I'm telling you, English glass is, as a general rule, worth more, and those are very beautiful, very beautiful. Okay, somebody put me up some boots.
No, that was, remember I told you I was gonna bring a couple things. And
Okay, all right, so that's your portion of the exam. Okay, let me get down here right quick, and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, but then you can
Right.
sit there and
Okay, so I'm gonna
look
do
up the
these.
votes for your own thingamabob.
Okay, all right, so these I did last year. I'm so glad Miss Audrey brought these because I forgot mine at home. These are actually marked made in Taiwan. Can't believe, and the mine wasn't marked at the house that I had, but the biggest thing and that I remember the difference being is that all the Fenton slippers don't dip this hard. You see how it just like that? It doesn't dip that hard. And the other thing about these is there's no eyeballs or anything. There's no definition, no design work at all. And then this boot, I had not seen a made in Taiwan boot, and this one says made in Taiwan right on it. Is one of these Fenton, Maureen, that you brought?
Yeah,
The dark blue, cobalt blue?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first thought was, it's really sharp on the toe here. It just comes to a point. Fenton's rounds off there. The design isn't on the back. Fenton had a design. Some of them laced up, some of them didn't. There's different molds for that. This one doesn't have that. It's that depression-y pink color that China likes to copy. This one is full of bubbles, absolutely full of bubbles. So that means it's not Fenton because it doesn't check the Fenton color, the Fenton mold, or the Fenton quality on that. All right, these vases right here were donated to me by Tim Barham. When I told him I was doing this seminar, he was like, please take them. If they're not Fenton, I don't want it. And I said, great, because I've always wanted some. I love this color. I would love to have every piece of it in this color. I don't know why. This one just speaks to me. Purple's not really my thing, but these were all made by Fenton International. So this was when Fenton was, and somebody more smart than me, please speak up, because I wasn't there for it, and y'all can tell me all about it. This was when Fenton was trying to branch out and have China do some work for them to try to kind of supplement money. This was some of the designs that they came up with, which I don't hate. It's a pretty color. It's a pretty design to me. The only thing is, it's just not China. It's just not Fenton. They are marked with a F in a world logo, and it's very square. Everyone, it's like they took a thing and just went a stamp and just stamped it like that. It has got a ground finish, so that would be one difference, that it's not Fenton. Now Fenton's, they did some cranberry over there. I only have this one piece. They made several different pieces in cranberry. A lot of them, if I remember right, the ones that I've seen, they made little pictures and a lot of everything. They were a lot lighter than what Fenton, and this is honestly the best color on one of the pieces that I've seen that's Fenton International. It's got like a machine design on the bottom of it, including that Fenton logo. with the world in it. That's not a Fenton shape though, I don't think. No. It looks more like a pilgrim shape to me, and it's got a rib optic. It's a pretty piece of glass. Just don't pay a bunch of money for it. Now these kind of things, these are getting to where everybody all of a sudden likes these. Max and Deanna let me borrow their fiberglass scaredy cat. These, along with the blown glass ornaments, are getting pretty pricey from where they were, because they look good on a Christmas tree and they're really nice to complement your Fenton obsession. But this again was made by Fenton International China. These pieces are hard to find. This is actually the first one I've ever seen. Amber, where did you get your ghost that you got?
The tent sale,
The tent sale.
90s.
Okay, Amber brought, how many years ago was that? 2-3 years ago? She did a table display of ghosts, and she had a ghost that was this tall. Was yours made out of fiberglass, and it was made out of fiberglass? She bought it at the tent sale, and I was wondering if she got it because of Fenton International, but it's a really cool piece. It's kind of like a blow mold, but it is the Fenton ghost, and she got it at the tent sale. Is there any questions before I let Lori Ann come talk about her pieces, because these are really pretty.
Stephen,
Yes, ma'am.
International glass vases were made in colors that matched pottery dinnerware.
Okay.
That was the whole idea, was to be able to decorate with.
Your pot, okay. So I do remember that. Millie's,
They had both in the gift shop in Fenton International, was
okay.
the.
The vases and the dinnerware? All right.
Someplace I have the flyer for all that.
Yes, okay. I would love to see that if you don't care sometime, if you find it. Well, I don't know, 6 years from now.
The other thing you said, you mentioned ornaments.
Yes.
We have 5 in the office if you want to ever borrow.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
They had them around here in Gabriel's, and I went and bought us a bunch.
Okay. Awesome.
They're hollow, they look like a.
Oh, they're gorgeous. I've had,
Christmas ornament, there's a cat.
there's a cat, they did the sleeping cat,
a
they did
mouse.
the pig, the mouse, 2 or 3 different angels. Oh, look at you, you're a good girl. They did the kneeling Santa, the standing Santa with the scroll, the Santa holding the cat. They did 3 different angels. The snowman and snow woman would be extremely popular.
We have those.
Do you? The little elephant with his trunk up that they did for, no, that was not the one they did for Linux, but the rooster they did for Linux, they did it. The cat grooming himself, and I call it the cheeky bird that looks like he's got a mouthful of water, that with his head cocked to the side. The songbird, is that all they call it? Okay, that's a lot easier than what I say. I think, yeah, that's all of those. But where'd you pull that up at? Just on
I think it's on the Fenton website.
Fenton website? Cool.
I sent you a link to that already.
You sent me a link? Sweet, thank you. So to reiterate what Millie was saying, they had dinnerware that would match the vases, and they were gave you the opportunity to decorate with your dinnerware. And I remember the dinnerware had like pears and stuff on it. It was,
Some of it did, some of it had circles on it.
it had the circles on it like that? Wow. Okay, well that's fun.
It was all geared towards the decorators.
The decorator dinner people, oh yeah. We call them beautiful table settings where I'm at. We've got a lady down in Mobile that she started a group on Facebook called BTS, Beautiful Table Settings. And if any of y'all like to decorate your table with china and stuff like that, there's probably like 100,000 members, and those women love to decorate their tables and stuff. And I go and set up and I sell Fenton there, and you think I'm the world's greatest person because I'm the only one there with Fenton. And they're like, yes, please, thank you, all of it, yes. But any more questions? Sweet, I did my job. All right. Let me hand you over to Doreen.
Awesome job.
And just because you're done with this doesn't mean you can go home.
Were you gonna talk about that?
Okay, I went to Duncan Miller's museum a few months ago, and I bought this boat because if I'd have seen this somewhere, I might have thought this was Fenton art glass. Would you? It looks, and I brought a real Fenton one, a Fenton one here. So when you come up here and look, you can see just how similar these are. If it's a strange color, well, I would say almost like an aubergine, but a little lighter. There's like a purple like that, and some other colors. Look right up the strip. And there are lace marks on the Duncan Miller. The Fenton ones don't have it. So I thought that would be something to save you, because I know that there are people that have, probably in good, they had no idea that they weren't selling Fenton, because they are that similar. And if you hold it up to the light, which you're not going to see it, you can see these, and you can barely make them out, these little hash marks like for shoelaces. Okay. This glass is obviously not Fenton. Why?
Shape, color.
It's modern, it's like.
Well, color?
See Miss Green.
This looks, well, let me start at the beginning. In 1991, Frank Fenton made a trip to Mexico, because he would go on glass hunts and he would go searching for things of, someone else's making, so Fenton could maybe see what was bringing in money and maybe hitch their ride and make some money too. Frank, when he was down there, he discovered this color, and then there was a twilight blue looking color. And he brought the pieces home, and he walked back to the chemist and said, "You're gonna replicate these colors because we're gonna make it a Fenton art glass." And that's where Seamus Green was born. And that's where Petal Pink was born. If you compare these to actual pieces, they are that spot. And if I'd have really thought about this a week earlier, I probably could have found somebody to bring me pieces in that actual color. And then the ones that are twilight blue are, they're pretty much, you can tell that they copied twilight blue. But it's not just copying a mold. It's copying, trying to work out what a chemist worked out. Like we were talking about Charlie Go, where it took him years and years to, but by goodness, he found the gem, and we were very, very lucky in the Fenton world that he did. These two glasses, oh boy, that's better. This one is signed Francis Burton. This one is signed Diane Gessel. And this is the stuff that will, if you've never heard about this or know about this, you're gonna say, get out. Is there any Fentons here? No, good. Well, actually, no, because it was Frank. When Fenton, well, Frank had multiples of these items brought home. He said, not only we're gonna make these, but hundreds of sets of these things in these in this glassware. And he had the girls at the factory paint the water sets. And if you were never in the gift shop, you would walk in and you would be in Fenton heaven, and you would go a ways in, and they would have displays from all over the other things, Swarovski crystal, some Hummels. They had like Yankee candles. They just had all kinds of good American goods in there. Over in that section where it would be not Fenton glass, here he had Fenton artists sign this Mexican stuff. There's nothing on the bottom. It doesn't, good Lord, that almost looks like an oval. There was nothing on the bottom that said, this is not Fenton. Or it didn't say, I just found that was, I wouldn't have done it had I been in charge. Don't use the same people in the gift shop to, you know, this looks like a Fenton pattern to me. Really, it does. It's real close to one of the patterns Fenton put on glass. But this is some of the stuff he had. And there were water sets in all three colors. And I saw one of these on Facebook and I said, I have to have that because I don't understand it. And I got with Francis Burton, and then we got the whole story. And I said, well, that's just crazy. If you ever see a water set that's in one of the three colors I described, whether it's this color, what looks like sea mist green, what looks like petal pink, and unfortunately I don't have a twilight blue. And you look at the bottom, it's a Fenton artist, don't be fooled. Okay? That's all I'm going to say is, this doesn't have the same quality as Fenton, but it could. They fire polish the bottom of this. So it's got that smooth finish. There is not a crystal foot, but it's not a Fenton mold, it's not a shape. I just wanted to take this opportunity. You may never see a set like it, but I thought, well, there was the opportunity to give you a buyer beware, heads up. If you ever see any, send me a photo and say, look, I found one. A whole set. I would love to get a whole set and bring it in here and show you. It's one of, I think that was a mistake, but we forgive them. So.
Who doesn't make mistakes?
Lunch is in the prepaid lunch. If you paid for your Kentucky Fried Chicken, they were picking it up at 11:40. I'm going to say they're probably getting awful close to having it back. We did all 3-piece tenders this year. So there's not dark, there's not white and all that because I don't know, Kentucky Fried just give us a headache because they wouldn't mark the boxes. So we went with
Hey y'all, thanks for watching my video. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you again soon.